Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of Rivian Automotive, ticker symbol RIVN. And so I've covered this in a few videos before, and a lot of the levels that I went over in those videos, I have turned to gray in this one just so they don't stand out too much. I still do think those will be important levels in the future, but for the sake of this video and the next coming weeks, I don't think they'll be too important, so I did gray them out. And what I wanted to highlight in this video is this falling wedge. It looks like has formed with Rivian based on these two touch points, the low from, let's see, July 7th and August 23rd. And also for the top of the wedge, the high of October 2nd and the high of November 15th. And I should note that this falling wedge pattern was identified by Trend Spiders on Twitter, and I liked what they posted, and so I thought I'd do some analysis based on that. And so what you can see is there have been multiple rejections from the top of the wedge here, and it looks like the week closed right at resistance, right at that level of the top of the wedge. Also, the week looks like it closed below this this line that I've grayed out that I suspected might be some form of support. We are below that now. It does, however, look like the price closed above the yellow line that I have drawn here, acting as support. So that's good news. However, it did close just below the top of the wedge, so there might be a pullback next week. And so there's also a possibility, though, that it could break out of the wedge. However, more volume would probably be needed for that to happen. And so what I suspect will happen is there will be a rejection from the top of this wedge, and $15.28 will be tested as support, did serve as support between November 9th and 13th, as well as October 30th and 31st. So hopefully that does act as support, but if not, it's possible $13.30, which previously also served as support on June 27th, right before this big run-up. So that could be tested, and that could also coincide with testing the bottom of this falling wedge. And so I could see over the next week revisiting the bottom of the wedge, $13.30, and then that developing as some support before then breaking out of the wedge. However, there is also a possibility that we go even lower, $12 I do have highlighted there. That could also serve as support, but I do think that kind of like the convergence of the bottom of the wedge and $13.30, I suspect that will be notable support. And so where do I see this bouncing from if it does break out of the wedge? It could, I suspect, go up to this yellow line, testing that as resistance if it is to break below it, and then maybe bounce off of 15.28, testing that as support before continuing upwards. And targets that I could see for it going to, that is to say, after it breaks out of the wedge, 1765 that I have highlighted in gray, as well as 1987. And what I find actually kind of compelling is to fill this gap up here, the price would have to go to $21.58. And where that coincides with this level of resistance based on these two highs, I feel like that could be a nice target once broken out of the wedge. So 21.58. However, I could also be completely wrong about this, but those are just some levels that I see as being important. If not breaking out of the wedge, coming down to test 15.28, 13.30, where I suspect there will be a bounce to break out of the wedge, be rejected at the yellow line, pull back to 15.28, and then to continue higher to test this top level downtrending resistance. And if you found this helpful, make sure you like the video, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thank you so much for watching.